Welcome to the 336th episode of the So Video Games podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we'll be talking about it. Today, we are recording on May 14th, 2023. My name is Brad Galloway. I'm the editor of GameCritics.com, and I'm also 50% of this here show. With me is the man who's sick of the heat, Carlos Rodella.
Oh, get us out of this heat, please.
Dying, dude. I'm dying.
We are in Seattle, where year by year, it's gotten warmer, and it's bad news, especially for people like me who like the rain and like cloudy weather.
Same.
I wouldn't mind it being 70 and misty. That's my favorite thing, or even 60. But yes, we are dealing with a heat wave. The first of, I don't even want to say it, the first of many, because that's what happens right now.
The first of the rest of our life.
Well, the first of this summer, and that's what sucks, because we know it's not going away. No. And I come from, just real quick, heat tangent, New York, where, I think it's this way still, rest of my recollection, when fall hits, which is like September, it becomes fall weather, and the leaves change and it's cool, blah, blah. Here in Seattle, and I don't know if this has always been the whole time, but at September, it's just as hot. It's normal summer.
No, that's global warming, dude. We didn't ever have to used to have that.
Okay,
that
yeah,
heat
and
all
then
the way. Yeah.
October last year, it was warm.
It was still hot, dude. It was hot like in fucking November, dude. Not even kidding. It was hot in November, and then the whole thing just was it's super fucked up.
So what means that's why I'm so like bummed is because this is the beginning of the heat wave, and it's May, and so we just know.
It's like what people say about global warming, dude. This summer is the coolest summer of the rest of your life. So I guess just get used to it.
I don't want to get used to it. Let's
not stop fossil fuels, though. Let's keep burning fossil fuels. Let's do it.
Let's do that, yeah. But what I was going to say, pre-show, I was mentioning about going back to SF, and there's a real chance I might do it at
San Francisco.
This year. San Francisco, yeah. It's where I lived for a long time. And yeah, if anybody's wanting to go to a cool place, yes, it's expensive, but as I was telling Brad pre-show, Seattle is just as expensive. It's like fucked up here. But there's this little place out in the outer Richmond where this fog comes in every night. And it is one of the only places I feel like in like the country that has this kind of temperature change where like in the morning and at night, it gets rainy and cool and breezy because of the ocean. Mm-hmm. So I want to go back to it.
That kind of reminds me of Hawaii a little bit. I lived in Hawaii for a while, and it was like, you'd get like the breeze from the beach. I live pretty close to the beach too. So it was like you get the breeze and the rain, and then like it'd be cool. It'd be like really hot during the day, and then it would cool off at night. And depending on where you lived on the island, like the mountains on the island would channel the wind certain ways. And so if you were in a good spot, like it was actually pretty good, like pretty nice, like very, tropical, but also just like cool. And you'd get like some mist, and it would be like a nice cooling mist because you were hot. And like it was all very pleasant, but you had to be like in the right spot though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I like that idea of like, okay, you went through the warm day today, and here's your reward. A little bit of mist.
Yeah, kind of.
So.
Well, I'm calling the show Heat Tangent. I think that's what we should call this show.
Okay. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about it again because I'm warm, and I have a portable AC that I just installed this morning. You were working with your AC this morning.
Literally just installed my AC this morning, yes.
Both of us using duct tape to
bunch of duct tape, a lot.
Get it working, and mine's off right now because of the podcast, because it's loud. Wow. So I cannot wait until I can turn it back on.
Yeah, it's really hot. And I know other places are hot as well. I mean, we're only like in 80 or something or 90 right now or whatever it is, but not 90. It's probably
It's going to go to 90 today for sure.
Will it? Yeah. And I know other places are hotter, but like, in the Northwest, this is not what it used to be like. It used to be cool and gray and cloudy and like, you could wear a sweater any day of the year and you'd be probably fine. And now it's like, it's hot. It's hot just like every other place on this godforsaken earth, so...
All right. Let's talk about video games. You know what video games do is when it's hot outside, you can lose yourself in a video game.
As long as your console doesn't melt from the heat.
Right.
I got to keep a little fan on my PlayStation.
Oh, yeah. It's warm anyhow. Like the PS5 and Xbox are... Well, Xbox I feel like is hotter. We've talked about this before. Like I put my hand above the Xbox where the little vent is, and it is always super warm.
They're both really warm, but yeah, I got a little grill on top of mine. It's really nice. I built a little pork chop on there before I started doing some open world stuff. Yep. And by the time I'm doing my adventure, I got a little snack.
The benefits of having an Xbox Series X.
It is. It sucks that the grease strips down, though. That's a problem. But, it's a good trade-off.
Right, because you could do it with the Xbox, but you can't do it with the PS5 because it just has that plastic white case.
It doesn't work. So you got to cook your own food legit there. All right, anyway, let's talk about some housekeeping, folks. Carlos and I share a virtual living space divided down the middle of a strip of duct tape. That's right. It is housekeeping. And I forgot to mention, I'll mention it now. We do have a hard out today. We don't usually, but I have a meeting coming up after the show. So we might go a little quicker today just to make sure we get through everything before I have to leave. So just let's keep that in the back of our minds. And I do apologize ahead of time if this isn't the lengthy show that you might be expecting.
It's fine.
Yeah. Carlos, I got like two things. One is pretty big. One is short. What do you got?
Well, we only got 3 games each, or 2 or 3 games each for the show. It's a short show, so I have a lot of housekeeping. So I'll try to get through a bunch of these boxes in no particular order. But I did notice, I think this happened after we recorded last week, but Bloodborne was trending again. As it often is. But I have, or did I already make the prediction?
You did make the prediction last week, yes.
That it's going to be on the showcase.
Would you like to predict again?
I'm just re-predicting.
Re-predicting.
I think it's going to be May 28th, and it's going to be a PlayStation Showcase, and they're going to show a bunch of stuff, and it's going to be Bloodborne Remaster, whatever you want to call it, for PS5 and PC. So I think that's going to happen. Okay, I already said it then.
I think that's very likely. I mean, I think it's overdue, and I think people absolutely want it, and it would make perfect sense that they do it now. I mean, I think that's a pretty solid prediction.
All right. Well, we made it twice.
Yes.
I saw a commercial.
For emphasis, we've done it twice.
Yes. I saw a commercial that, again, I find things through TikTok or YouTube. I don't know where I originally found it, but then I went to YouTube and watched the actual full-length commercial because, hell, if I ever watch like a TV commercial nowadays. But they made a TV commercial for Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
With the businessman?
Yeah, I thought it was very good.
It was fine.
Okay. I know it's kind of corny, but it's just like, I like the idea of that simple thing, which I say in the show like all the time, which I use video games for an escape, and I use video games for just kind of a cathartic thing because life can drag you down. And so I know it's not hardcore like that, but it is like a guy, businessman. It seems like he's just doing his regular businessman stuff, but then he finds Zelda and he's like, oh, he rediscovers the imagination, blah, blah.
Yeah,
I don't know. That was done kind of nicely.
Well, I mean, I agree, but so here's the thing. So you kind of recapped it, but specifically, if you haven't seen it, it is, like you said, a business guy. He's like, sued. He's got a briefcase or something. I don't know what, but he's like, is he coming home on the train? He's coming home on a bus or a train or something like that. He gets home, and if I remember correctly, he's got like this like really nice house or big house or something. He's got like who I assume is his wife or whatever, that he's like, hey, what's up? And, doesn't give her very much affection, whatever. It doesn't seem like a bad thing, but to me, it was weird.
Breaking it apart. Holy crap.
It was weird. And so, but it looks like it could be a commercial for like life insurance. It could be a commercial for like Viagra or something. It could be a commercial for anything, right? Mm-hmm. Like you don't really know. And then even when I Googled it, I'm like, is this the right commercial? Am I watching the right thing? I'm like, what's going on? And then he sits down, and then he's got the Pro controller on his coffee table, and he starts playing Zelda. And then he you can see on his face, he's doing this less restrained performance of like, oh, my life is good again or whatever. Which is cool. Like I'm on board with that. The thing that I think is weird to me, and I guess it's maybe not weird, is like that's life for so many people right now, and the industry is just now catching up to that. Like I feel like we were eternally locked in the whole video games are for little kids and teenagers, and they're all fucking nerds. And if you play games, then you don't have a social life, and you probably don't even like football, and you probably don't even like sex, and you're so fucking weird that you like games. And it's just, that is so far removed from the reality. Like everybody I know plays games these days. It is less common to find somebody who doesn't play games, even any kind of mobile, handheld, anything. You go up to somebody and be like, oh yeah, I play Madden. They're like, oh yeah, I just see the new update or whatever. Like it's common. It's very common. Mm-hmm. And so it's weird to me that the industry is just now kind of coming around to the whole, why yes, you can have a fucking job and still play video games. Those two things are not diametrically opposed. Like okay, like 10 years ago, let's get rolling, dude. Like it's good, but like way overdue.
But let me just clarify and say, it's not the industry's like coming around finally. It's just one commercial that a company made.
the ad. I apologize. Let me specify the advertising industry, or like the fact that they made a TV commercial. It is rare that you see grown-ups playing games on TV. I mean, number one, commercials are few and far between these days, streaming, et cetera, et cetera. But to see a big deal commercial like this, and it was kind of a, I don't know if I want to call it like an event commercial, but it was like, everybody's talking about it.
Really? Oh my goodness, I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah, dude, my feed was full of this fucking commercial. Like, and it was like, everybody's talking about, oh my God, you see the new commercial? Well, like it was a thing people were talking about. And I'm like, okay, cool. But it's weird that PR is just now catching up to Yeah, adults do play fucking video games. No
Okay.
shit.
Yeah,
I'm almost a senior citizen, still playing video games. Okay, like it's been a thing for a while now.
I agree. No shit. This is interesting. It's taking a different turn than I thought. And I'll get back to why I like it. But to your point, it's one particular ad company that made this one ad video.
Sure.
And so like, there's not like a ton of these commercials coming out of like people finding video games for the first time. So then that would be a trend that's weird because you're right. Everybody plays games. It's not a thing at all. By the way, Jack Black just released a music video for playing too many video games.
Oh, did he?
And he did it with a YouTuber. I forgot his name, who's like this really weird animator who's really good. It's a cool collab. You should check it out. Just look at Jack Black video game music video. Right. But so of course it's everywhere, right? So and again, this one company made this one ad for Nintendo.
Sure.
And Nintendo is kind of behind the times. God bless them or whatever. But I feel like when they do commercials, it's like all the kids going out to the basketball court to play their Switch while they're outside and playing basketball.
And shooting hoops.
Shooting hoops. No one's doing that, right?
Yes.
So
exactly.
that's kind of par for their course.
True. That's a fair point.
My other point is not even a point. It's just that what I think they could have done with that commercial too is they could have just made it like a younger guy who's on the bus and doesn't have a nice house and has a shitty apartment or like a room like mine, which is just one room that's hot and sweltering.
Yeah.
And then showing him escape to Zelda, then that's I think what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
It's just that, like, here's that escape.
It was just like too upscale to me. Like it was too big and too
that.
fancy. And the guy like he barely even acknowledged his wife. I'm like, what? Come on,
You're
dude.
really
like,
stuck on that part.
It bothers me that he just like kind of walked by or gave her a high five or something and moved on. I'm like, what?
Well, she was also like, okay, see you later. I'm going to bed.
I guess. Or it was weird to me.
That.
Yeah, it was that what she said.
Wait, let's break apart this video even more.
Deep dive
into that's what the whole podcast is. No, but she did. I don't know if you've ever been in those kind of relationships and how yours is now, but not to break that down as well. But
relationship cast.
But I've definitely had like the relationship which I like, which is where sometimes you just want to stay up playing video games, and your partner's like, "Cool, I'm going to bed."
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's like there's no problem with that, right?
Oh, yeah, but you give them a hug or something, give them a kiss, and then they go on their way, and that's totally fine. Just the two ships passing in the night and that little kitchen scene was fucking weirded me out, dude.
Wait, let's break it down even further. Two things are happening. One, they have a broken marriage, and she doesn't care about him anymore.
That's true. They're both cheating with other people. Both of them are.
It's over, right? The other one might just be like, the thrill's kind of gone, and so they're kind of on autopilot.
Oh God, this is depressing now. This is getting super sad.
That's really what
this is adding this terrible element to the commercial. Oh man.
But I still liked it. And moving on.
Let's stay on this topic for a second. Since we are talking about Zelda, I'm not playing Zelda, and to be perfectly honest with everybody who has been asking me, number one, Game Critics did not get a code because we have been on Nintendo's shit list for like forever.
So you're on Nintendo's shit list and PlayStation's shit list.
And Xbox's shit list. We have been blacklisted by all three.
Great,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, just to be perfectly clear, I'm not going to name names here, but Nintendo has always thought we were too small potatoes, which is weird because there are other places that are smaller than we are, but they always get like a 9 out of them, right? So like those people get codes all the time, or like the Nintendo specific places. So whatever, that's fine. I'm not too bitter about that. I'm not complaining. But like, and just for the record, Microsoft and Sony both blacklisted Game Critics because we give scores that are too low. I mean, that's been very overt. And in one cases, it was said straight out, we're not going to give any codes because you give us too low scores. So fine, whatever, move on. But it is weird because we used to be in with all of them, especially Nintendo. They sent us a GameCube before the GameCube even came out. They sent us a GameCube, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" And we like had a great time. But I guess you give one 6, and then that shit is all over. Anyway, getting back to Zelda, we did not get a code for Zelda, so clear. I'm just going to be clear about that. And I did buy a copy, not for me, but for my wife. I was actually not going to buy it. I'm not in a Zelda mood right now. I probably will play it at some point. I'm just not in that space. But my wife is like, "Oh my god, Zelda's coming out," and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't realize you were psyched for it." She's like, "Oh hell yeah!" And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I got her copy of it. She started playing day before yesterday, and I sat down to watch her because my wife plays on the big TV, and like the whole family gather around. We watch my wife play games. It's real fun family activity. And boy, she turned on that game in record time, dude, like so fast.
Interesting.
She loved Breath of the Wild, dude. That was like, I mean, she didn't love everything about it. She hated the weapon breakage because she's an intelligent person.
Fuck that thing.
And a couple other things she wasn't crazy about, but she loved it. Like she finished it. She did, she didn't get like 3,000 Koroks or whatever the fuck it was. But, you know, she did like all the stuff, all the shrines and everything, you know, like she rinsed that fucking game basically. So she started playing Zelda yesterday, and like, dude, it was just like, I could see the smile melting off of her face in real time. Like, it was so crazy.
What was the causes? Do you know?
The causes are, so I asked her about that. I'm like, okay, you look like you're falling off this real hard. What's going on? And she's like, okay, so number one, there's like basically not anywhere near enough tutorial or intro to the game. She's like, I don't need this game to hold my hand, but like, at least like give me a couple quick wins, show me what I'm doing basically, and then you can let me go. But she's like, I didn't know what to do at all from the start. Like, so she said like she was feeling like she was floundering from the beginning, and she played Breath of the Wild. She knows Breath of the Wild. Like, she's not a noob or anything. But then also she's like, I'm so sick of this fucking physics shit. Like, I don't know if you know this, but like Nintendo must have seen the videos of people messing around with like the various physics things in Breath of the Wild. Like,
yeah, it's like the bomb stuff.
Yeah, the bomb stuff. And like, you get on a boulder and you whack the boulder and then you time stop the boulder or whatever, and it takes off like a rocket. Like, they must have really like saw how certain people, I'm not going to say all people, but certain people were really getting off on that. And if you like it, cool. But like, that seems to be the focus of this game, where she's like, I don't want to put things together. I don't want to rig contraptions. She's like, all I'm doing is building stuff. She's like, I don't want to build anything. I want to just play the game. But that is the game now. And I'm like, oh man, that's weird. I didn't anticipate that happening. And she's like, to be fair to my wife, she's like, you know, she's not against it, but she's like, if you want to do this, cool, as an extra. But like, she's spending most of her time like getting logs and gluing them together and then making a bridge, but it falls because the physics are, you know, you got to lay it just so. And then she's got this hook contraption that you got to put on a zip line, and you got to make a platform that goes under it. And she's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, I feel bad for her. But you know, some people are like loving it and they think that's great. And if you like the wonky physics stuff, that's cool, because that seems to really be what this is about. But I think if you're expecting maybe a more traditional Zelda, there's a lot of this other stuff on the plate that maybe you weren't expecting. So,
well,
yeah.
Let me add two things to that. One, yeah, it feels like it's Minecraft plus Zelda, right?
A little bit, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, you know, I think that, what was I going to say about the Minecraft part? Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of people who want to do that. But for me, I just want to like know the adventure and go on the adventure and have it be done.
I don't know that is this game this time anymore. I don't think that's what they're doing. Yeah.
But I heard this that made me very like, I like this concept, although it was just like on a YouTube video, who knows. But someone said like Breath of the Wild was the convergence of all of the different reality of links. You know how that's the story?
Oh, man,
the meta
I couldn't
story?
care less about that.
Let me just tell for the listeners, because I've already
Go ahead.
mentioned now. But like, there's supposedly like a long time ago, there's, you know, something that happened where there's going to be many, many reincarnations of Zelda and Ganon and Link. And so that's what all the games are. They're all kind of different, like a Final Fantasy. And so Breath of the Wild supposedly is the convergence of those, and Tears of the Kingdom is the breaking apart of that idea, meaning like there will no longer be reincarnations. And I was like, that's interesting to me, but that's all. I just
that to me is not interesting at all. And I feel like this is a Dark Souls thing, where there's this thing in Dark Souls where people, like, developers are people, right? And they say this. I was actually listening to Gary Butterfield and Cole Ross on Bonfireside Chat, and I love those guys. They're great. Go check out their podcast. Wonderful people. But I was listening to their breakdown of Elden Ring, and they were going through chunk by chunk of Elden Ring. It's going to take them 9 years to get through dissecting each area, right?
Yeah.
And so anyway, but like the thing that they talk about in the show, which I love that they talk about because I've talked about it too, and I love to be validated, don't we all, is that sometimes FromSoft they're just human beings, right? Like, not every single thing they do is a masterstroke of 4D chess that is a game for players to figure out, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes they just grab a dragon because they need a boss. They stick it in a room. There's no reason for it. There's no lore. There's nothing special about the room. There's nothing special about the dragon. They just needed a boss fight there. They didn't want to make a new boss battle. They were releasing in 6 months or whatever. They don't have time. They stick a dragon, and then the community goes fucking apeshit trying to figure out, who's this dragon? What's his backstory? What's going on? Is he reincarnation with somebody else? Like, whatever. But sometimes it just is what it is, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about Zelda, where I hear these people where it's like, oh, but which game comes first? And this Link is this other one, and this is in the past, and this thing, and he found this artifact. And like, no, none of that. Nintendo doesn't give a shit about that. Like, they just made Zelda games the way that they wanted to make them, period. End of story, full stop. And people in the audience are just like, no, there's a secret through line. There's all this stuff that's going on. And like, no, there's not, dude. There's literally not. There's no order to them. It's just a bunch of games, and just enjoy them. Just enjoy them for what it is. There isn't always like a hidden layer to it.
I agree, and also I have an asterisk of it doesn't really matter though, even if they are doing that, because life is hell, or it can be. And so, like, anything we can do to distract ourselves.
If this is fun for you, go for it.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. That's my first thing. And then secondly, I think it's also just inherent in humans to, like, try to figure out things out.
Oh, sure.
Even if there's nothing there. Like, you could just be, like, in a room with some box over there, and you're like, wait, what's that about? Anywho, okay.
I mean, I agree. I just think that some people take it too far, and then when they start getting aggressive and shitty online, then I feel like it's way too far.
That's the point of it, right? So you can do whatever you want and have all these fun little stories. It's aggressiveness is the bad part of it. So I don't think anybody's being aggressive with the Zelda timeline idea.
Bro, you have not been on the right message boards.
Well,
then. There's people who go nuts over this shit.
Maybe we just stumbled upon the answer. I'm not on those message boards.
Well, that must be the answer then. Yes.
Right? So just don't be on them, and then you don't get aggravated. I don't know, because I'm not on shit for when it comes to message boards.
That's wise advice. That is wise advice.
It kind of is. Okay, moving on. I have two more things. This is very interesting, and I'm kind of excited about it because it's a hot day out. I'm going to play video games inside with my hopefully portable air conditioner working normally. But because I had this Dead Island 2 review on the show, and then I talked about it on my other podcast, A Lot of Things podcast. It's come back. And then I put some of those videos on TikTok, and I got all these comments about people basically telling me to get good, and, Dead Island 2 is amazing. And it's supposed to be hard, whatever. But I thought for fun and for this podcast, I'd go back to the original and see if it was the same. Because I know that it was, on Wikipedia or whatever it's called. Wikipedia?
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. Wikivideos.
Oh get that domain name before someone else grabs it.
Wait, Wikipedia?
No, I think that is one already.
That's already one, yeah. Anyways, it says, like on the internet, that they did level scaling, just like in Dead Island 2.
Okay.
I don't remember it, and also I remember it being much easier. Or like there wasn't these like, skull above the head for no reason zombies that looked all the same. But you can't beat those. So I went to my PlayStation and I went to see like the sales, and Dead Island 2 or Dead Island 1 Definitive Edition, which I didn't play, by the way, because remember I played the original.
Is that just including all the DLC or what's
and
different
upgrade a little bit? Like I think they did something to the graphics. I guess it's probably 60, FPS. And so it's $3 right now.
$3?
$3?
Wow.
On PlayStation.
That is a great deal because Dead Island 1, is a great game. And for $3,
great game. If you never played it.
That's awesome.
Okay, so again, I don't know what it's on Xbox. I don't know what it is on Steam. But currently I'm looking at it right now. It's $2.99 on PlayStation, PSN. So I got it right before this podcast started. And so as soon as it's over, I'm going to go try it out and see if I was right.
That's awesome. I'm very curious to hear about that because I had a great time with it back then. And it doesn't stick out in my mind about level scaling, and that's usually something that bothers me.
Yeah.
So I don't. Okay, so like it's always hard to do these. Hey, remember something you did 15 years ago? Like that's really tough. Maybe they added level scaling later. Maybe they tweaked the level scaling at some point. I don't remember that being a complaint of mine back then. But then again, it's been many years. I should probably go back to my review and see what I wrote about it. Maybe I would remember something I don't remember now. It's hard to say, and I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. But I just. Out of the things to remember about Dead Island, that was not one of them.
I like doing this for the podcast. We don't do this enough, is going back to games, even though we say it in the title all the time, new or old or whatever. So I'm going to go play this. You go look at your old review, and the next episode we'll talk about Dead Island.
Yeah, I'll make a note. Let me make a note on it.
You should, because
I'll forget.
I mean, you could also go to PlayStation and find the $2.99 sale and get it too, but because it's not the same as the one we have. I think it is some things improved on it, so...
That would be curious. I will say that I did not care for the DLC, though. I thought all the DLC was junk. But the main game, sweet stuff. Very good stuff.
We're running out of time, so I want to say one last thing, and I'll save the rest for later. Everybody, I was looking at the views of our podcast and stuff, and listens, and people really like their parrying episode. So
they did. Were they just mad about it?
No, there's not like tons of comments. It's more just like a lot of views, a lot of listens. So I'm just wondering, maybe we have to bring pairing conversation back to a new show.
No more pairing.
It seems
for
to be
God's
popular.
sake, no more pairing. No.
Yeah. All right.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, I got one thing here.
Yeah, what do you got?
So superfan Elio Capitelli wrote in. Thank you, Elio. I love getting a message from Elio, and they write in every so often, and it's always just such a pleasure to hear from them. Although this was incredibly bad news, and I was very sad and heartbroken. Although I am not a person who ignores the truth, and so I will embrace this and just accept it. Elio says, "Hello, gang. I did some Googling, and it seems that Brad's review of Lords of the Fallen is not the first recorded instance of the word Souls-like, which is making me very sad. His review was published on November 13th, 2014, and a Google search with proper filtering returns a few other articles just a bit earlier. There's one about Bloodborne at the time in June 2014, so a couple months before mine, which is from Italy, it looks like, because it says Anteprima Bloodborne, Anteprima del Nuovo Souls-like D from Software. So I'm assuming that's Italian, which is probably why I wasn't aware of it, because it was in Italian. And then the other one that he found, November 3rd, so literally 10 days, just 10 days before mine, Rock Paper Shotgun published a review of EITR, E-I-T-R, and the term Souls-like was in their tagline as well, just like mine was. So they beat me to the punch by just a little bit more than a week. There's a little bit more. It says also a Twitter search of restricting other dates. Blah, blah. I'm going to skip a little bit. They wrote a lot, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. There's one that linked to a YouTube video that explicitly said the term. That is the earliest mention. And by this, I say Souls-like. That is not meant as a typo, as in like Souls-like. That was on February 13th, 2014. The video is now unavailable, however. And it looks like it was a trailer for Lords of the Fallen that gave them the idea to say that it was Souls-like.
Oh, interesting.
So again, Lords of the Fallen seems to be the trigger point for basically everybody.
Yes.
So Elio says, there you have it. A few people coined the term independently, which is not surprising. The earliest I could find, February 13th, from Twitter user Jackie O. The video is no longer available. And in print from Francesco Fassetti, which is in everyeye.it, the Italian one, talking about Bloodborne. So there was a few people that beat me to the punch. I accept my defeat gracefully.
All right.
But I will say that I still was on the vanguard of it. I was definitely on the early edge. So I'll take that credit. But also thank you, Elio. That was a lot of research. That was a lot of legwork you had to do, and I greatly appreciate it. So I appreciate you, and thank you for popping my bubble, and thank you for bringing the truth to this podcast, because if nothing else, we speak the truth.
Facts.
And I'm glad. Facts. We only deal in facts here. And I appreciate it. So thank you very much, Elio. And now the mystery has been solved.
Thanks for tracking it down. Unfortunately,
yeah,
I believe in collective conscious. So I think, there's scientific breakthroughs that happen all at the same time in different places.
That's true.
So everybody was just kind of thinking about Souls-like, and it came out, and you were part of it.
That was very true. It's also kind of like when games all come out at the same time, like there will be like, oh, there's a ninja themed game that also has you riding a fox or something. And then somebody else will have like a ninja themed game where you're riding a fox.
Right.
Like there'll be like 2 or 3 games. And I always make the comment of like, was there just a game jam or something? Because everybody's got the same kind of game coming out at the same time.
No.
Maybe it's just like parallel evolution in some way. I don't know. I'm not sure what spurs it on. But
I'll tell you exactly what it is, but you can either believe it or not. It's fine. But we're all quantumly entangled.
Oh man,
it's very easy if you just look up quantum physics, and it's quantum entanglement, and so there's no way that we're not all entangled. It's silly. That's why I get so mad at divisiveness and anger and all the mean things that people do to each other, because we could just be nice to each other because we're kind of being nice to ourselves if we think of it that way. That's why that whole Jesus quote, whatever. Jesus quote, that's what they call them.
The Jesus quote? Which one?
Jesus quotes. Or like, be nice to your neighbor, whatever it is.
Do unto others.
Yeah, that one.
You would have those, do unto you.
It's because he should have added, or they should have added, the asterisk and said, like, because you're quantumly entangled. It would have made sense. Like,
it would have blown so many minds back then.
They would have been like, what's the word quantum? But
what is entangled? Yes.
Anyways, let's move on to video games. It's already getting hot in my apartment.
Yes. All right, folks. So full disclosure, it's been a crazy week for me. I don't know about you, Carlos, but I've been extremely busy with like real world stuff, like my house. Like there's been a lot of like construction things going on. Been very busy, so I'm not on my game today. I feel like I'm a little bit discombobulated. I don't have everything in the nice smooth package. I think let's change it up a little bit because I think actually you're bringing the bulk of stuff to the show today. Let me go first. Let me get one out of the way really quickly, and then let's focus on yours because I feel like yours are all juicier than mine. Is that
Right,
okay
but
with
the
you?
bulk is like 2 games.
That's what I'm saying. It's a small bulk.
We're both going to be talking about the FMV, right? So
We will. I'm going to save that one for a little bit later. Let me talk about
Okay.
this first one. Just get it out of the way. It's called The Creepy Syndrome, and it was sent to me by the publisher. Thank you very much. I'm playing it on the Switch. It is a very interesting thing. If nothing else, let me say it's a really interesting thing that I would love to see more of. Basically, this is a game that is made up of 4 different small horror games. Now, I didn't do a whole lot of research on this because we don't do research here. But it seems to me that these 4 mini games, which have been collected under the umbrella of the Creepy Syndrome, are all from different people. If you had to ask me, I would say yes. These are all totally different people, totally different developers. I feel like this is like somebody went out and found micro horror games and just collected them and made a little anthology.
Oh,
which is
yeah.
cool. Yeah, it's cool.
And I saw this pop up even on consoles, like on Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah. It's on. I think it's on everything right now. So I think that's a great idea. The anthology concept for video games, I'm 100% down with.
100%.
Yes.
Like an A24 game, like
Yes,
with a bunch
yes,
of different like indie
yes.
stuff would be awesome.
100%. So that's why I was so excited. I was like, oh, neat. Okay, cool. Like, I don't want to play 20 hours of a horror game, but I will play 1 hour of a horror game. And let's, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, different approaches. So I just want to be really clear. I love this approach. And I really want the publisher to try this again. And I really want to see more of this from other people too. This is a great idea. I love the anthology approach. So just to be super clear, thumbs up to that. The actual games themselves in the Creepy Syndrome, not a fan of. It didn't really come together. So there's 4 of them. One of them is a first person. It almost looks like it's going to be a dungeon crawler, but what ends up happening is you're literally walking in a straight line and just reading some script and like nothing really even happens. And so it just doesn't feel very convincing or scary, or I'm not even sure why they even did it. And when you get to the end, it's kind of an ambiguous ending. So that one didn't work for me. The second one was a giant clusterfuck because it looked like an Atari, like literally an Atari 2600 game. Your character was like 4 pixels and you're in screens that were like the tree is like 5 pixels and the house is like 10 pixels, right? Like it's like super, super, super basic, which is totally fine. I'm totally fine with that. But the problem was they didn't give you enough instruction and I got stuck on the very first screen. In fact, I got so stuck, I had to email the publisher and be like, I don't even know how to play this. I'm not sure what's going on. And it was crazy simple once I knew what to do, but I just didn't know what to do. And I'll just spoil this right now. So like you start on the screen and your little pixel detective, he pulls up in his pixel car and he's like, hey, there's been some murders in the area. I should probably investigate. And then as soon as you start playing, like a pop-up pops and says push A to interact. And I go, okay. So I interact the car. He's like, no, I just got her. I can't leave in the car. Okay, good. And I'm looking around the screen to interact with something and there's nothing to interact with. And I'm clicking on, like randomly clicking on trees, clicking on rocks, clicking on dirt. It's all like pixels, right? Mm-hmm. This blue pixel is like a rock. I'm like clicking on that. Nothing. I can't walk to the left, can't walk to the right. I don't know what's going on. It turns out that all I had to do was walk down, but it didn't look like you could walk down. It looked like just a screen. Like there was nothing visually there to suggest that I could walk down. And so I got stuck because I never tried it. I got close, but I never pushed. And because I didn't go left and right the way that it looks like you're supposed to go, nothing was there. And so I was like, I don't even know how I'm supposed to progress. So a little bit more direction would have helped. But once I got into the game, it was fine. It was okay. This is probably one of the better ones, I think, once I got unstuck. The next one was, oh gosh, what was the next one? I can't even remember the next one. And the last one was one that was, had some really nice graphics to it. But basically what you were doing was like walking through a house, turning off lights, and there was a monster that was kind of chasing you. It was really short and it didn't really feel like it had much of a point to it. So I don't mind like the short story horror approach, but like they got to be sharp. Like, I mean, that's really the trick with like short stories in general. You can take a big idea and put it into few words. And I say this as someone who has written multiple short stories. But you have to have a point. Like you got to get to where you're going and you have to be very judicious of what you're doing. And so everything that you write in a story has to lead to something, and then you want to have it pay off in a good way. Same thing for games. Like it's a lot of these felt like they were just chunks of larger games. They didn't really feel like a fleshed out thing that was just small. You know what I'm saying? Like it just felt like, oh, here's a piece and there should be 3 more pieces to it, but they're not here. And it just didn't, like, none of them were very satisfying. None of them were very, I don't know. There's just none really captured. Oh, I remember the last one. The last one is you're in a room and you're doing a point and click thing where you're like, oh, grab object and use object on other object. It was kind of like a really clunky point and click thing, which I was like, ugh, no, thank you. So I didn't end up liking any of the games on their own, but I do really love the concept and I really want them to do more. Like if there was a Creepy Syndrome 2, all new games, and it's just like everyone was just like +5 in quality, like that would be amazing. And I would really love to do that again. So this one didn't work, but I'm not saying it's a failure. I'm just saying you got to try again and just different games next time.
Cool. Yeah, and they've actually is it Boomfire? It seems like it is Boomfire Games. Yeah, they've done other stuff too. So
Okay.
It seems like you said, it's a collective of styles, but I'm wondering if it's the same developer just doing a bunch of different styles, which is interesting.
I mean, maybe because they all seem radically different. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't. They look like they're from different developers. So.
I love the concept, like you said. It still comes down to the game itself. Is the experience interesting and fun?
Yeah.
But also, I just looked up, like Googled Creepy Syndrome, and there's like a lot of crazy, really difficult things that people deal with. I don't know if this game does that, but like it would be interesting to have a game that does not just horror, but like talks about syndromes that people have, kind of like Hellblade,
Oh yeah, yeah. There's lots of room to explore all sorts of things like that, and we haven't really traditionally done that because it's difficult to explore mental health when your only interaction is shooting something. So
Right.
I definitely think that we can branch out and do more with other types of interaction. So I agree with you there. I
That's
think
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there. So
All right.
okay, so man, I'm so discombobulated. We can talk about the FMV game we played, or we can talk about some of the ones that you played. What's your biggest?
I
Survivor?
only have 2 games. I keep saying
Trinity
that.
Trigger. Trinity
I have
Trigger.
Trinity Trigger, and I have Jedi Survivor. I wanted to go back to.
Jedi Survivor. And then we talked about, okay, let's talk about
the
Mia and
FMV.
the Dragon Princess.
Yeah, let's
The
talk about
FMV.
Mia
So
for a
that's
second.
3. That's 3. What do you want to do?
We'll talk about Mia for a second. Both of
Okay,
us can
let's
talk
do that.
about it.
You want to lead off?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's an oh no.
Oh, no. Okay, go ahead.
Because we love, so I will launch in saying that we love Wales Interactive.
We do.
They're the developer of this FMV and many others. The last one was, did they do 10 dates?
So there's Goodgate
2.
Media. Goodgate Media made the game, and Wales Interactive is publishing. We should
Right,
be clear
okay.
about that.
Thank you. So then, wait, do we like many different developers then? Because it's just
Well, we
Wales
do,
is the
but-
publisher?
I think we like the games that Wales chooses because they are definitely choosing a lot of good ones. So
Okay.
we like their taste, that's for sure.
Yeah, but
and yes, Goodgate did do 10 dates as well.
Okay, I thought so because some of them seem like it's the same vibe, with the actors and stuff.
Yeah.
So 10 Dates is the last FMV I played. I'll just say that I really enjoyed, and actually like felt like I made a good connection with
Yeah,
a
you loved that
person.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of still wish I was like dating that person, but she's not
You
really.
can only replay the game.
I guess I could look up the actor and be like, hey,
No,
what's
don't
up?
do that. That's creepy.
That is
That's
super creepy. That's a creepy syndrome.
Creepy syndrome. There you go. Circling back.
I'm not doing that. So I was, excited to like this one. What this is, it's a little bit different because they do a backstory. It's an adventure kind of game, right? So you're
Yeah.
taking these actions and making these choices for a character.
Did we even say the title of this game? I think we forgot.
This
to say the
game
title.
is called Mia something. I don't know.
Mia and the Dragon Princess.
There you go. And that story about the Dragon Princess and stuff is told through animation in the beginning.
Yes.
And like kind of cutout style, which
that
I
caught me
liked.
by surprise. Yes.
It did catch me by surprise, but it's one of the reasons why. Spoiler: inevitably, I didn't enjoy this game.
What?
Yeah, I know,
Oh,
I know.
Man, I'm surprised.
It's fine. We can have different opinions. That's what we do.
We cannot.
But we can on this one because what it did is it set up this expectation of like, and I've seen other games do this where like the style's a little different for the intro.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, I'm just going to tell you the story because we're not going to spend the budget on doing this like ship scene and stuff.
Yeah,
like
we're
that.
not going to make all these sets and stuff.
No, but we're going to tell you it really quickly. Then it just the hard juxtaposition of going directly into what we know and love generally is not like the highest production value filming, right? I mean, there's some good camera work and stuff like that, but it's just you can tell it's just not even in like a highly produced indie film. It is what it is. Anyways, it just goes hard into the fact that you're now following one of the characters from that story. I think it's supposed to be the Dragon Princess. Is that right?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I don't know who it is. It's somebody, but it seems like she's out of time, and it just says like, okay, now someone from that cutscene that we just talked about is in this real world, and now you're going to make these choices for this protecting this woman who's kind of doesn't know where she is, and you kind of control this woman who works at a bar. I forgot her name.
Mia.
Right. The whole game is named after.
Yeah. I don't know what Dragon Princess is not the name of the other character. I don't know why they chose that. It's
I don't
just
either.
a neat name. Yeah.
Either way, you're controlling, the actions, at least whatever I played, of Mia, and kind of protecting this woman who's kind of like out of place and out of time, that you feel like is from the cutscene you just watched. If that's confusing, it kind of is. But here's why I ultimately didn't like it, and then I'll let you rephrase all that stuff in a positive way. Is because one, the intro really did kind of rub me the wrong way, because now it just is so much more glaring of what this game is, and it's not that at all. It's not even a video game. It's just kind of a full motion video thing,
Sure.
So I didn't like that threw me so much, because now I've got to believe in this thing, and I don't believe it at all from what it's filmed like. And then secondly, the acting was a little bit cringe for me, because the acting in 10 Dates made sense, and it was a little FMV, whatever I want to call it, filming. This one, it just felt like everything that main actress was doing was overacted, and even her expressions and stuff like that. And maybe later on you'll tell me there's a reason for that. But, she's this woman who's in a hospital gown, and she's reacting to everything like crazy because she doesn't know where she is. She's from a different time. But it just felt overacted and cringe, and I just didn't care about anything.
Oh, wow. I am very surprised that you bounced off this. I thought this one was great. I had a really great time with it. I thought it was really fun, and I liked it a lot. I thought for sure you were going to be with me on this one. I'm so surprised.
I know. And when I was doing it, I was like, am I going to have to be the opposite of Brad on a Wales game?
I am very surprised.
So obviously, you give me your take, but also I didn't, play it very long, and I know you beat it a couple times.
I beat it like 3 times. So.
Yeah. But just answer that one question for me. Like, you didn't think that kind of threw you off when you saw the cutscene, and then you went to stark reality that it's like a super, super indie film?
I mean, I was surprised that they chose to go with animation, and it is pretty cool animation. But it didn't bother me. I mean, I know that lots of people do that same thing where they animate one style. I mean, it's not recommended. I don't like it. I would rather that the style be cohesive. But, like we said, they're not going to build a ship. They're not going to build a giant animated Kraken. They're not going to build whatever, like fake icebergs so that they can film the intro. So I get it. Probably very small budget on this thing. And I appreciate that they even did an intro. They could have easily just not done an intro, but it didn't throw me the way it threw you. I mean, not my preferred, but I thought it was fine. I'm just to clarify. I think if they didn't have an intro, it would have been better, because I would have known, okay, yeah, there's an FMV game. It's a Wales game. But you knew that going into it, though. I said FMV in the text. You knew.
No. I mean, I knew it was that. I'm just saying, you watch it start with like some creepy music and maybe like some text that says like all that stuff that we just saw, but it's just the juxtaposition is so different. I don't know. It really bothered me. Anyways.
Well, it didn't bother me. So basically, Mia and the Dragon Princess is an FMV game. Just like most FMV games, you watch some real life actors doing some stuff, and then you make a couple choices, and then there's a couple stats, although I didn't really find that the stats mattered all that much. There's also like a streamer mode if you want to like stream this, and like it'll pause so you can get some comments from your viewers, which is pretty fun. I don't stream anything and I don't watch streams, but I can imagine that being pretty fun. So I thought this was actually really a good time. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. The intro was strange, and I will say that there's a few parts that I feel like could have been done a little bit better, just to kind of more properly set up the player. When I read some comments about this after I had finished it 3 times, just to see what other people had thought, a common thread that came up was people felt like they didn't explain enough about the story, and I have to kind of agree. I finished the game 3 times, and I got 3 different endings, and at no point in those endings or through the game did I figure out how the main character got to in this game.
That's terrible.
So here's what happens. Like the main character is Mia. She's a barmaid in a London pub, which has a history of pirate activity in it. And that's where most of the game takes place. So it's interesting that they set most of the activity there. And I thought it kind of worked out pretty well. But what happens is the other main character is, I forget her name. She has a name.
Yep.
She's from Indonesia, I think, because she speaks Indonesian in the game. And she is a pirate from like 300 years ago. And she shows up she's wearing a hospital gown, and you don't know where she came from, and you don't know how she got there, and you don't know how she survived for 300 years. I kept waiting for there to be like a time portal or a cryogenic chamber or something, and like I never found out, where did you come from? How did you get here? How are we even having this adventure with you? So that to me was like the biggest thing of like, I wasn't clear about how we were starting off this adventure. And that's a pretty big, like, you need to explain to the player where she's from and what's going on, because you show her in the cutscene on the high seas with her crew of female pirates pillaging, I don't know, the China Sea or something. And the next she's in a hospital again in modern day London. And I don't know how she got there. So that to me was like the biggest problem that they didn't solve. And I kept waiting to see how that happened, but they never got to, or maybe I didn't find the right ending. But I mean, I feel like finishing something 3 times is plenty, and I don't need to keep,
Oh yeah.
for something as basic as that. So that's my only.
I do once and it's canon.
Well, see, I was going to do the one canon ending because I usually do like that, but I got a bad ending the first time, and I was like, okay, no, I need to see more than this. And I'm glad that I did, because you can have multiple endings. I think there's 10 overall in the game. Some are good, some are bad. Some stop a lot earlier than others. And so you can miss out on quite a bit of game if you get a bad early ending. I mean, there's still like a lot left you didn't see. So I went back, and I will say, I thought this was quite fun. I thought the performances were all really good because they were kind of tongue in cheek and silly. Not too silly. It wasn't comedy, but there was definitely there was more laughs than I thought. I laughed quite a bit when I was going through this. I thought the fight scenes were actually really good. I thought the fight scenes were excellent for an FMV game. And I don't mean that as negative praise. It's not supposed to be a backhanded compliment. I mean, I thought they were quite good. I don't know the name of the actress who plays the Indonesian pirate, but she kicks ass. Like, she's a really good fighter. I thought that was really cool.
I just want to give her a shout out real quick. So the name is Marshanda.
Marshanda, that's what it was. Thank you.
Played by Noah Bleeker and Dita Tang, I believe. So I believe that Dita is Marshanda. I'm guessing.
Yeah, she was awesome. I thought she was really cool. I thought she was a great fighter, and just, I mean, and the whole thing going through the game of Mia being the modern day barmaid with Marshanda, the pirate out of time. They don't speak the same language for most of the game. For like 90% of the game, they don't speak the same language. And so that was an interesting mechanic as well. But it had this like really cool Goonies vibe to it, where you're finding little tunnels and you're going on an adventure, and do you want to get the treasure or do you want to solve the trap? And there's a cool booby traps and stuff. And it was just like very Goonies like. Obviously a smaller scale, smaller budget, but I thought everybody was leaning into the roles and everybody did a good job. And I just thought it was like a lot of fun. I had a great time with it.
Wow. Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that, like, if you're doing an FMV game like this with a limited budget, which is essentially what we got to talk about, because like, and I'm my eyes keen to this kind of stuff, because they, in the bar, it's like this one room that it's not even a bar, it's probably a set.
Yeah, sure, yeah, for
and
sure.
Like, they don't leave that, like you said, for a lot of it, and then the actresses who played like the little wedding party or whatever they were doing, like bachelorette party,
the hen party, as it's known.
It's just all, like, the acting was cringe in places, like with the other people that are around, and then the fact that it's like a theater production. It felt like a theater production. I know
sure,
it sounds pretty rough, but if you're going to do that, like, I feel like 10 Dates works because you're owning the small spaces. But this is and this is back to my earlier point, and believe me, I love them, but I'm just saying, developer and publisher, these are critical, thoughts, is that you have to own that space. 10 Dates does, because it knows it's small, so it has these little speed date things that are at a table, and it's going to be a little table, and that's it. And you just got to focus on the conversation, not the grand design or story. But if you're going to do something like this, I just feel like you've got to do it in a bigger budget, because as it stands, it's a cutscene, and like you said, I don't know what the fuck's going on with this girl, and it sounds like you don't ever really fully
I don't
know.
either. Yeah, I don't know.
And then you're in a theater set doing these decisions, and so that's why I feel like there's a disconnect there for me. Like with the other games, it didn't feel that way. And by the way, even one of them was like in a mansion, remember? And it was like all set in this like huge mansion, and that one felt more like creepy and real because they were filming in this huge building. I don't know. I think that's and even the fight scenes are interesting. I definitely didn't like a lot of the acting.
Oh, that's a bummer, man. I really like this one a lot. I mean, I would have appreciated a little bit more interaction. I felt like the choices were pretty limited, and so I would have liked. I mean, to be fair, there's lots of branches, right? Like I'm not saying it doesn't branch, but I know that some people were like, "Oh, it feels like you're on rails the whole time." And the first time I played, I'm like, "Okay, that felt pretty on rails." But when I went back to change, Not, I mean, some things were more drastic than others. Some people got killed right off the bat, and some people made it all the way to the end. Some people, some things changed. Like it wasn't this huge like Until Dawn like gigantic branching thing. To be fair, but like I did feel like if you played it 2 or 3 times, you saw more of the different branches, and that was good. There was a lot more information I got in the second and third playthrough that really put more light on the story and kind of filled in some things, which I thought was good. But I think a few more choices would have been good. A little bit more branching, but overall, I thought this was a really fun one. It connected with me. I thought the performances were good. I liked the characters.
Right.
I liked the traps and the booby traps and the fights and everything. So, taking it as a lighter, kind of breezy, fun sort of adventure, it worked for me. I thought it was good.
I see some reviews, and a lot are like around the 6 and 7s, which again for FMV, I don't want to like say that because it's like limiting, but that means it's it's good and people can have fun with it. I think. I just didn't, but it's fine.
All right, there we go. Split decision on Mia and the Dragon Princess. So what do we got left? We have. Let's talk about Trinity Trigger real quick. Trinity Trigger. I don't know anything about this one, but you were excited to play this one. We got you a code from the publisher, so thank you very much to the publisher. Mm-hmm. Tell me about Trinity Trigger. I know literally nothing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was like I think it still is $50. It's like an action RPG. People say like. Secret of Mana and that kind of stuff. It's that view of like 3/4 view or whatever.
Yeah.
Little pixelated characters. It's not polygon. It's like Secret of Mana or whatever.
Like sprites or something. Yeah.
Sprites and action RPG. It reminded me a lot. If you've played Cat Quest, do you remember Cat Quest?
Cat Quest. Yeah, I did play Cat Quest. Yes.
I loved it, and a lot of that mechanic of that game is hit things and then roll out of the way. And I like a dodge roll, but it's a lot of that. Like Cat Quest is mainly that. That's what this game is mainly. You have many characters. I'll tell you what the game is in a second here, but the combat itself is an action RPG, but it's really about like hit things, do a couple special moves, and then get out of the way. Okay. And it's that thing where like the enemies sometimes will show you like a red line where they're going.
Sure.
That kind of thing.
Give you a chance to get out of the way.
Yeah. So it's just a comfort food RPG is why I wanted to play it, and that's what it ends up being. And so, yeah, you play as you have many characters you can control. It's that style of game where I think you might have up to 4, but right now I have 3. And once you have all of them, you can cycle between them in the middle of combat, action combat. I will generally try to play only one character. I like that. But in this one... Each character has multiple weapons. Sometimes there's those little blocks where you have to have a bow to break the block. Or there's a block that says you have to have an axe to break this block. Mm-hmm, so they kind of make you choose different characters sometimes, for puzzles.
Gotcha.
I'm not a big fan of that, but it happens. And I just go back to the character I like, And then, certain weapons do certain types of damage against enemies, blah, blah, blah. But it's pretty straightforward. It's like the most basic like action RPG ever. It feels like Cat Quest in the fact that Cat Quest was also kind of like go do mission, get rewards, do side mission, get rewards, run around, level up, that's it. And in my world, Carlos's world, that's all I need sometimes.
Okay.
I love that. So, spoiler, I enjoy this game. Like it's fun. There's one big but, and I will not lie. But and here's the big but. Okay, so that's generally what it is, and I can go into a little bit more of the story. But the story is that kind of thing where it's not too important, and it's not supposed to be. It's just kind of like
you going after some magic crystals or something.
Well, no, there is many different storylines, but you're helping the gods. There's an internal war.
Is it like a very JRPG sort of story?
It's JRPG-ish. It's actually more Western at times, but. Oh, by the way, you also have a Pokemon with you, like these little creatures, and they turn into weapons, but it doesn't really look like that. They just mainly are there for the cutscenes to look cute, and then in the combat, you have other abilities now, but they're the Pokemon who are doing that. They're not Pokemon, but
Like, are you equipping them?
Yeah, we already are. Like, you have a sword, and now I met little Flom, who's like a little Pokemon, and now I can do a different move.
Okay.
But that's it. It's like, it's just a story device.
Gotcha. Okay.
But every little hero you meet has these little Pokemon with them. So, trademark, not Pokemon. And so that's the other kind of interesting element. The big but is that, and there's many biomes in the sand world, the winter world. I mean, it's so paint by numbers. But again, I like that. Like, I'm like, I just want to level up and it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
There's also Pokemon. So that all aside, that's it. Pretty straightforward. The problem is when you beat bosses, there's a positive and negative. The positive is if you lose for some reason, they start you right there, and it's pretty cool. I think the boss still has its same hit points you got it down to too. So it's like
so like you just cumulatively eventually wear the boss down.
Yeah, I think so. I think I've beaten all of them so far. But I've heard that in reviews. Here's the but. Every boss has a shield that takes a long time to break down. It's like the size of their health bar, the same exact size.
So like, okay, gotcha. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you got to break that down first. And then once you do, you can hit its real health, but only a limited time. Then the shield comes back.
And you got to get through the whole shield again?
Yes.
Oh, dude.
I have no idea why this was a gameplay mechanic. And then on top of that, this is kind of a combination, but is that you have stamina for your attacks, which I never like. So, but the problem is if you run out of stamina, it's a little wheel that you can see going down when you attack, kind of thing. If you're at 0 stamina and you attack, it does like 1 damage. So it's not even real attack. So what I have to do for a boss, and in a real world situation, you're fighting little monsters, it doesn't come up too much, right? Because you go attack, roll, your stamina comes back. But in a boss, you're trying to hit this guy a ton, right?
Yeah.
Because you're beating his shield. But you have to go hit, wait.
Wait for the stamina to replenish. And
hit, roll, wait.
So it just like drags the whole thing out.
It drags everything down. Like that combo is fucked. Like developers, if you're listening, I like a lot about your game, and it's totally relaxing, and it made me have comfort food, and I'm still playing it. I haven't like quit it over this, but there's no reason for this. There's no reason for that to be in the game. It doesn't make anything better. If the shield was there originally, fine. Give every boss a shield. I beat it, and now let me fight the fucking boss,
Yeah.
But because you built the stamina system the way that you did, there's no reason for that shield to come back. And it's every boss.
That sounds incredibly tedious to me.
It really is. And it's disconcerting because I enjoy the puzzles and the weird kind of simplified world, and there's a bunch of side stories, and the art, by the way, in the cutscenes, those little pop-up is really good.
Yeah.
So there's so much to like about it, and it's multiplayer, by the way, so couch co-op, action RPG. I'm sure with a partner or something or a friend, it'd be really fun. So there's a lot to like here. It's really simple too, but that boss thing's fucked.
That sounds terrible. So did you finish it? Are you going to finish it? Or
No,
how are you?
I'm about, I think I looked up on the walkthroughs. That's how I look up if I'm far in the game.
Yeah.
I think I'm halfway through because I just kind of been heads down on it for a while. So I probably will finish it. Depending on whatever boss I get to and I get mad. But yeah, there's where it is. I think it's pretty good.
All right. Well, pretty good with one big but. And I guess if you can get through that, then it's probably going to be a pretty good adventure. So does this seem like a recommend to you?
Yeah, I think it's still recommend.
Seems like a recommend.
It's such a comfort food kind of RPG that I just kind of go back to it all the time. It's really relaxing.
All right. Right on. Excellent. Okay. I think we only have Star Wars left. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. But before we do that, I want to just really quickly tangent. I'm also doing a time check. We've got about 40 minutes here, so we've got time. You convinced me to give a second attempt to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Right. That's a great way to start this off.
Yes. So you were pretty high on it, and I had played it before, and I bounced because I got so sick. Honestly, it was just the level design was the biggest thing, and I don't really say that too often because that's not usually the biggest problem for me, but the level design was so terrible. And in a nutshell, if you haven't played Fallen Order, I'm sure a lot of people are talking about it right now, but you play Cal Kestis, the Jedi who was in hiding, didn't completely become a Jedi before the Empire took over. You take him on his adventure to reclaim his Jedi powers and, put the universe right, blah, blah, blah. So the problem with this is they were going for kind of a Dark Souls thing. Clearly they like the Dark Souls open world where you explore, you find shortcuts, the shortcuts take you back to where you were, and you kind of walk around the world. That works for some games. That works for Dark Souls because from are masters at doing that. I don't think anybody does that better than FromSoft does. I don't think anybody would argue with that. But that, not everybody's FromSoft, right? Like, not everybody can do that. And the problem I had with Fallen Order was you have these giant levels and you go to do your objective. You get through jumps and platforming and swinging on vines and whatever. You get to where you're going. You do your thing. You find the doodad. You kill the guy, whatever. And then you got to walk back. And it's just like the biggest fucking... It's so tedious, dude. It kills. It kills my spirit so hard to just think about, like, okay, now I got to walk all the way back. And sometimes things happen on the way back. I admit, sometimes there's little events that spice it up. But all I want to do is fast travel back to my ship and get on with the next objective. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
And clearly they realize that, because you said it's different in Survivor, which we'll get to in a second. But like last night, like, okay, so I'm almost done with the game. I've been mainlining. I took your advice. I'm just mainlining. I'm not exploring anything.
Yes, don't explore shit in that game.
Yeah, I'm not exploring anything because there's no reason to. 99% of the time, you get a cosmetic color for a suit, and I couldn't care less about it. I don't care about BD1's colors. I don't care about my ship's colors. I don't care about Cal's poncho color.
Yeah.
It's like that's the only bonuses they ever thought of to put in this game, and that's garbage. It's garbage pickups.
Let me put an asterisk next to that because I don't know why I put an asterisk, by the way. Let me just talk about something related to that. In Survivor, because I'm not going to talk about this in the main part of it, they do the same thing, and you would think they would have changed it by now. But it's the same thing. Like, tons of those chests are just like haircuts, and clothing. And I was like, I'm not. So I'm mainlining Survivor now because of that exact same thing. Like, I got my look. I don't want to change it, and I don't want to mullet. So I'm not going for those side things. So yeah.
So that's a problem, right? So that's one of my problems. Is like all the pickups are garbage because I don't care about the color. You get a pink poncho, you get a slightly more pink poncho. You get a yellow poncho, slightly more yellow poncho. I seriously don't care. It feels like an insult. So I'm not exploring anything. I hate the combat. I was playing last night, and I was in the Dathomir level, which is like the evil planet where the Darth Maul guys live. I don't know what their race is called, but those guys. I went through the whole level once because you go back to each level a couple times. I went through the level once, tons of platforms, swinging on things, climbing things. I'm like, okay, this feels like a lot. It feels like it's too long. I finally get to the thing. You get there, and it's like, oh snap. I can't open this locked door. I need to go on a spiritual journey first. And I'm like, fuck. Okay, whatever. You go on the spiritual journey, which was really boring. And then you come back to Dathomir to get ready to open the door. And you got to get back to it. And I'm like, no. I just want to fast travel to the door where I got stuck. I don't want to go through the whole fucking level again.
Yeah.
Shortcuts or not. It's still too long. And I swear to God, like, I crumbled, dude. I was like, I don't know if I got it in me. I don't know if I can do it.
Yes, I felt that.
I'm so close, and I'm like, I can't do this again. I can't go through this level again. I don't want to do that. And you look at the map, and the map looks like it's 95 miles, dude. And I'm like, oh my God. So I had to put it down. I took a break. I will finish it because I feel like I'm really, really close. Like, how close is that when you get your crystal and you go back to Dathomir the second time? That's close to the end, right?
I know. You asked me the other night, and I can't remember because I used the walkthroughs to like see where I'm at.
I mean, you just finished it like 2 weeks ago.
I know, but I'm playing Survivor so much now that they're all bleeding together. So I think you're like an hour and a half or two away.
I've got to be close, dude, because I've got Cal's got all his powers back. He's made emotional peace with himself. He's got the new lightsaber. I don't know what else there is to do. Like, I feel like this has got to be building up. So I'm going to keep pushing on. But boy, I've wanted to put this game down so many times because there's so many things about it that are just dumb.
Yeah.
I will also say the combat is terrible in this game. It's really bad combat. I'm interested to hear what you say about Survivor, but they clearly want to do Dark Souls combat, but they do not understand what makes Dark Souls combat good. It's perfectly obvious they don't understand it. Because everything's a fucking parry in this game, which is dumb.
Yep.
But also beside that, they don't understand the movement and the spacing of combat. Like, I've played every fucking Dark Souls game, and I know what these games are and how they work. And like when you go with Cal, you come into an encounter, and again, this is a side note, not nearly enough different enemy variety. It's boring to fight stormtroopers
in the first game. Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. So like you get into a room, you get those fucking stupid stun baton troopers, which are like the main guy you fight for the entire most of the game. What happens is you can't get to them. They back up too fast. And so your offensive choices are taken away unless you use the power, which uses up your force power, to dash forward. If you don't use the force power, you can't really catch them because they back up too much.
Wait, you can pull them though, right?
Sure, yeah, you can do force powers and stuff. So like if you're doing force power is great, but if you run out of force, and I find that I run out of force a lot because I'm always doing the force power because I don't really like the base combat, right? So like the special, the heavy attack takes force power, the pull takes force power, the push takes force power, the jump takes force power. Everything that's cool takes force power, and I run out of it too quickly. And so that's fucking annoying to me. Because I end up having to do just like the basic attacks while my force recharges because it's like a stamina meter basically. So like everybody backs up too far, so you can't really do anything except for wait for them to attack you and then you parry. That's like the main interaction of combat in this game is waiting for somebody to attack you so you can parry.
Yes, that's
which
100%.
is so passive. It's so passive and so boring and so dull because you end up doing parry and then attack and then wait for them, parry and attack because you can't press the offense. There's the encounter's not set up right. The enemies don't move right. The spacing between enemies is not right. And so like it's like the developers know what Dark Souls combat looks like and they kind of have a vague idea about it, but they are 1000% not on track with what it feels like. And it's wrong in this game.
Yeah. Okay, here's another side thing.
Go ahead.
I agree with all that. And the idea of waiting to defend is like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah. As your main interaction,
that's your main.
That
yes.
sucks.
And
yes.
that's 100%. Now, this is kind of just a dual review because we're bringing up two things. And Survivor, that's still there, but two things. One, the easy mode, because there's a story mode in both, but the story mode in this one is even more easy. Okay. I remember them saying that in the developer interview.
Well,
and
it should be.
Right.
I mean, lightsaber should kill fuckers in one hit, dude.
Right.
Like, that's real talk.
What they did is they basically, but even with that, to your point, they still don't get it right because if you look at the options in easy mode and Survivor, the parry window is all the way to the max, which means
the biggest parry.
You have the best parry, and the damage that enemies do to you is like the lowest.
Right.
But that's not how you really do it. Like for me, because I'm playing, I don't want to feel like I'm getting like I have baby guard,
the baby bumpers on everything.
Baby bumpers and everything, because that's what it feels like when an enemy hits me now. If I'm back, by the way, I'm playing in normal right now on Survivor. But if I did switch it down to easy mode, it drops those damage down so little that you're like, oh, this is not even any
they're like chipping
challenging.
They're chipping pixels off you.
Yeah,
basically.
pixels.
Yeah.
So that's broken too, right? That's like you said, like they kind of get what they want to do, but that's not how you adjust it. You know, that's not how you adjust it. So, but I agree with you that the pairing's there. I will say this in Survivor, even though you are still, that's kind of a thing, you have more capabilities to attack as an offensive.
Right.
Like I'm almost always running, jump, attacking, spinning, and then doing this other special move I do.
Yeah.
Like first, and then I'm getting damage on the enemy. You know.
I mean, that sounds great. What I want to do is I want to be more aggressive. I want to go through enemies faster. I want to have more offensive choices. But it feels like, I mean, if you have force meter, then you can do some certain things. But like if you're out of force meter, and I feel like I'm out of force all the time because I use it all the time, then it feels like I'm constantly on the back foot, and I'm just like, it just doesn't feel good. So like, I'll wrap this up in a second. We'll get on Survivor in a minute here. But like, I totally understand why I stopped playing this game, and I want to stop it again because this is not a good feeling game. Pickups are crap. Level design is garbage. Combat design is garbage. So all those things put together are a really miserable play experience. The puzzles, don't even get me started on those puzzles.
The ball puzzle.
I actively hate all the puzzles. And when I got to the puzzle in the late game where you need to pull the power cord and turn on the lights and focus the light through a fucking crystal, I almost quit. I almost deleted it off my fucking hard drive right there, dude. I was like, I
had to look that one up too. That was bullshit.
I had to look it up too because I didn't understand. I didn't even understand what's going on. Signposting in this game is atrocious. It is atrocious, which is weird because Respawn is a great developer. I have respect for them. I love the Titanfall games. I know they know what they're doing, except for they don't. And I don't understand why the signposting is so bad. And what I mean by that is I don't know where to go ever. And if it wasn't for the 3D map that shows you green to go here, orange to explore here, and red to not go here, those things show up on your minimap. If it wasn't for the minimap, this game would be unplayable to me. I wouldn't even know where to go. So I don't understand why the signposting is so bad. So all that stuff's terrible. But I will say, now that I'm almost to the end of the game, I think Cal is a fun character. I know that he got a lot of shit for being random white guy, which, you know, fair. But now that I've spent some time with him, I think he's okay. I'm looking forward to more development, but I like his crew. He flies with
Grease. He's one of my
Grease.
favorites.
Grease is a really good
Grease
character.
is awesome.
And I forget the other lady's name. The black lady he's with. I forget her name. It's like Esme or something like that.
Seer, no.
Seer. That's what it is.
Seer, yeah.
Yeah, and she's okay. I'm looking forward to some more development there. But the crew is good, and it's weird because you talk to them, but you don't have anything to say. And now that I'm at the very end of the game, like literally I'm almost done, I'm starting to get dialogue options. And I'm like, where were the dialogue options 10 hours ago, bro? Why was I not doing dialogue options the whole time? Because that makes you connect to the crew. Makes you feel like you're having more of a Mass Effect sort of a thing. They didn't figure that out until almost the end of the game. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. You guys didn't think I wanted to say anything back? Okay, that's strange. But I like the crew. I like the feeling of coming back to the Mantis, which is your ship. I think the Mantis is a fucking cool ship. I think that ship looks amazing. It's really cool. And I love the crew. I love the semi-vaguely kind of sort of Mass Effect-y feel of coming back to the ship. Kind of like you would come back to the Normandy in Mass Effect. I like that. Overall, I don't have a lot of love for this game, but I am playing it. I'm going to finish it. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they improved in Survivor, because everybody says it's improved. I'm looking forward to that. And I do like a Star Wars game. I do like Star Wars in general.
Yeah.
So I want more of this. But man, it's the mistakes they made in Fallen Order, really strange to me. A lot of like really obvious stuff that other people were not making, like not the same mistakes. And this is kind of like, this is discovered territory. They're not pushing boundaries on anything here. And so it's weird to me that they stumbled so hard on it.
Yeah. I would say that I agree with most of that. I would say the thing that brought me through, and that's bringing me through to Survivor as well, is those cinematics and the characters and the Star Warsiness of it all, right?
It's got a good feel to it. Like it does feel Star Warsy for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, like, but we didn't even talk about that mission that happens in Fallen Order where you're in the big ship and you're just controlling a ship like first person, remember?
Oh yeah. You're in like in the Walker.
Walker,
like,
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And like,
there's definitely Star Wars moments for sure. Yeah.
And Forrest Whitaker's in it, and there's just like, you know, a lot of really good acting. You know, like we didn't bring this up, but Seer, is that her name? I think Seer.
Seer, I think it's Seer.
Is Deborah Wilson, and I always remember her because she was from Mad TV.
Oh yeah, she's a great actress. It kind of looks like her too. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, they did like a whole like motion capture.
Yeah.
So you know, and everyone's just believable. I love Grease, and being back in Survivor, which I'll pivot to now. It's similar to that Mass Effect thing as well, because when I played the Enhanced Edition trilogy, remember I told you I went from one game to the next game.
Yeah.
And that's what this is like. It's just really fun to be able to continue with the crew. It's years later or whatever, months or years later. And people are all in different places and you're trying to like reconnect with them. So there's so much like glue with acting and story and Star Wars-ness that's really what pushes me through these games.
Yeah.
Because some of the stuff that you're bothered by is still back in Survivor, but I would say there's enough quality of life stuff that makes it better.
I mean, that's good to hear because I think that's cool. I do support like having another franchise that's not based on the same characters, you know, Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker and stuff. Like, I mean, the Star Wars universe is so large. I mean, that's one reason why I like The Mandalorian, or I used to like it so much, is because it seemed like its own thing. Like,
yes,
you can exist in the Star Wars universe, never meet Luke Skywalker your entire life, and still have cool adventures and do cool things. Like, that's what I'm kind of into. And Cal seems to check that box. And so I'm glad. I mean, ultimately, despite the fact that I really don't like playing this game, I'm glad it came back to it because I do like the IP-ness of it, like the concept of it, the characters, like you said, the Star Warsiness of it. And I'll play Survivor when I get to it, so I'm glad that I'll have the backstory there. But man, I kind of wish they would just like tighten up certain things. But you know, whatever. They're already on the sequel. I'm sure they're already working on a third one too. Maybe they'll take more feedback. But let's talk about Survivor now. So we pick it up with Cal Kestis. It's a couple years later, or whatever. It's after the first game. So tell me, I guess, do you want to start with like the story, or do you want to start with like the mechanical improvements, or what do you want to start with?
I don't want to ever talk about the story in this quick mini review because that's the fun of it. Like, I think what you just said is the gold that is this franchise is that this is like Mandalorian, the game. And I don't think, you don't have to be the Mandalorian. You could just be Cal, but he fits that role where he's kind of like this traveling guy and he's meeting all these characters and all these like little stories take place within the universe.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's some really good new actors and new characters in the Survivor. Again, I don't want to say anything about the story, just the fact that because minor, like the spoiler is the story bits, I think. Like that's what's magic.
For a second. I'm hearing you talk about this, and what I'm realizing, I guess this is probably obvious, probably to everybody except for me, is that as I'm playing Jedi Fallen Order and I'm listening to you talk to Survivor, what I really want is I want them to do literally Mass Effect, but with Cal Kestis and Star Wars and stuff. Like, I want to
Right.
have more side quests. I want to have more characters.
Yeah.
What was the name of that fucking Star Wars RPG that BioWare did? What was it called?
Knights of the Old Republic.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a great game. I want them to do that,
Yep.
but with Cal Kestis and the Mantis and all that stuff.
So
I think that's what I really want here.
I'll say this is a minor spoiler, but it would get people to probably play it, I think, because I didn't know this was a thing. And people like this in games. But there's like a love interest in this version, in this story. And the first one, it's just about like surviving, ironic. This one's called Survivor. But like there's people that you meet at the end of Fallen Order, which I definitely can't say to you because I think that you still haven't met some people.
Not quite there yet.
But there's some people that you meet soon at the end of Fallen Order that pick up right at the beginning of Survivor.
Okay.
And then there's just other people in the world that you meet, and so there's this moment that happens where like Cal might have like an interest, and the same thing that you said though. There's not enough choice, and there's not enough side missions where you feel like you're making those choices within the side missions. But there is that kind of agency of like. Agency is the wrong word, but you just feel like connected to these characters and what's happening with them. So, and then like I think I said last episode, there is one scene kind of a set piece that I've never experienced in any game before that's in Survivor that's so exhilarating. It's like worth the price of admission. It's like, wow, a video game was able to pull that scene off. It was really, really fun.
I'm going on a journey. You're making me go on a journey here, dude, because when I started Fallen Order the second time, it comes off like it wants to be Dark Souls. And I'm like, well, you know what? It would be better if it was Uncharted because I don't like the baggage that it's coming with. But now that we're talking about it, I don't really want it to be Uncharted. I want it to be Mass Effect. And so
I know.
I've gone on this. I've gone from A to B to C. And what I really want is I want it to be Mass Effect, but with Star Wars.
And it's not. And
it's not.
And here's my other negative. There's a couple of cons here. In general, I enjoy Survivor a lot. I'm going to beat it. I'm like 9 or 10 hours in. I think this game is like 18-hour game.
Oh shit, dude.
Maybe 20. So it is that kind of frustrating thing where I wish it was a little shorter because I've had a great time with it, but it's pretty long in the tooth right now. But so I like it. Everything it does better. Here's the other pros is that fast travel is a thing where any of the little bonfires that you go to,
yes.
Let's call it what it is.
Yes.
They are fast travel points.
I am desperate for that in Fallen Order. I am desperate for that.
You're not going to get it.
I know.
Finish with earnest and try, but and that really makes a game changer because the maps are pretty freaking huge. The other pro is that when it's working and it's not dropping frames, it's one of the most beautiful things I've seen on my PlayStation.
Yeah,
I mean, like
that.
fucking breathtaking. Yeah, but then in that mode, which is the quality mode, it will fucking chug even on my console. So hopefully updates for the PC and the console will fix that.
Yeah.
But that is unfortunate because, like you said, I've just been playing in performance right now.
Yeah.
Because I can't even deal. It gets pretty rough.
It's got to be performance. It's got to be.
So what I do is I do performance, and this is weird, but when I get to a place where I know I'm just going to be walking around for a while, I switch
it back to quality.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing because, again, I'm like wowed by the graphics. And then I go, okay, we're going to do some combat now. And then again, like I said, the other pro is
sad. That's sad that you have to do that.
I know.
That sucks.
This is the world we live in.
Oh, God.
Temporary, by the way. It'll be fixed at some point. And then when I do the combat, I have more options. I just have more options. It's something to make you feel really good. You just kept talking about not having enough force points.
So tired of it.
So what they did in this skill tree is they allowed you to really truly play it like you want a bit more, where there's a force like skill tree, just force. Mm-hmm. So if you want, you could just focus on that and getting more of that, and then you probably would never have that problem again. But I don't even care about the force, weirdly enough, in a Star Wars game. I just am, a melee guy, right? So
But if you've got cool stuff to do in melee and you don't need the force, that's fine too.
I do.
The only reason I'm so force dependent is because all the fucking cool powers need the force.
Well, then, okay, yeah. If you don't want to even do that, you don't need it in this game because I haven't touched my force skill tree. I'm 10 hours in. I think I have one thing unlocked.
Okay.
Because all I'm doing is I picked survival skill tree, which is like health, right?
Uh-huh.
And like you can survive things, you could dodge more, blah, blah, blah. Special dodge, which looks really cool. And then a million new attacks.
Okay.
So I'm like doing all these fucking cool ass attacks. and when the parry window's like high like it is, it feels fun.
Sure.
Like I'm like, oh my goodness, this is the most fun, which is the exact opposite in Fallen Order that I had in a Star Wars duel. Like it feels like super exciting.
Yeah.
And I'm attacking first, and then I'm dodging and parrying. So I think just it opens it up more. The con obviously is the fact of the performance of it. And then what was the other con? Oh, the climbing. While it just doesn't need to be as Uncharted as it is. Like there's 8 million climb to dodge to wall run to wall run to wall thing.
Yeah.
And they'll do it like in succession. And they're very good about if you fail, putting you right back where you were. I mean, not many games will do that, right? Like literally like the cliff you fell off of, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're very good and forgiving. But it's annoying as fuck that he would have to do that in all these worlds.
It's funny you say that, dude, because when I got to the Jedi temple in Fallen Order, this is the temple where every Jedi goes to get their crystal for their lightsaber. I guess if you know Star Wars lore, it's a thing. I don't know Star Wars lore that much, but anyway, Cal's like, oh yeah, we came here as kids, and I'm like, really, you came here as a fucking kid because I had to climb up icy wall with the special climbing claws that I just got in the last level.
Yep.
And then I had to go through this fucking giant leap, and we're inside the cave, and you're telling me that Master Yoda melted he used the crystal and sun puzzle to melt the door? Really? Because if you're telling me this is a fucking Jedi temple, I expect it to be a fucking temple where kids can show up. You're telling me you had a fucking field trip into like the jaws of hell, and like you wouldn't even be able to fucking get through this because you didn't have the power-ups that I just got. That doesn't make any sense that he would like run and jump. So like they need to dial it back with some of that shit. Like I get that it's Uncharted exciting, but sometimes it doesn't make sense. So I'm with you on that.
It just needs to be what you said. It just needs to be a fun adventure game or like an RPG game where you really are doing side missions. But it's just, it's trying to be Dark Souls with Uncharted, and it doesn't need to be either of those games.
Yeah, it could be its own thing.
But what pushes it along and why I'm still playing it is because the production of it is amazing. You know, the voice acting is amazing, the characters are amazing, and the story bits are really fucking good. So it's definitely a double-edged sword for me on this game. I'm 100% going to finish it, but it's like, I don't know. If they make a trilogy, it'd be fun if they just lean into none of those things in the next game.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like there is a lot of potential here, and I agree with you. I feel like it doesn't need to be either one of those things. I feel like they are actually holding themselves back by not doing their own thing. So, okay, as a counterpoint, Respawn, great developers. Like I said earlier at the beginning of the segment, I have respect for them. I've played their other games. Let's look at Titanfall 2, for example. Titanfall 2, they did their own thing when it came to like level design and progression through the level and some of the cutscenes and stuff. Everybody loved that fucking game. Everybody thought that was like one of the best action-y platformers to come out in like years, and everybody thought it was great. It was definitely in everybody's top 10 because they like did stuff that no other people were doing. They incorporated some time travel. They incorporated BD, I think his name was, BT, the robot that you had. They went back and forth. They like capitalized on their strengths and everything, right? So like by setting out to do what they wanted to do in their own vision, that was an incredible game. I don't think anybody would argue that. But like I feel like they are so tied up with trying to be another game here that they are not maximizing the good stuff that they actually bring. Like they're not leaning into Cal's adventure. They're not leaning into like the Star Warsy world. We're doing like a lot of like the wall run and the platforming and the swinging stuff, and like, you know, like we're doing stuff where like we just summed it up, Dark Souls plus Uncharted, where I feel like this game could be more than that or could be its own thing, but they're limiting themselves by not focusing on something that's outside of those parameters. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing. The good news is I have a feeling they're moving in that direction, and that our third game, and I know they're going to make it this a trilogy.
Oh, you know they're going to do it. You know.
It's going to be worth it because I think they are going to just go further down that road of their own thing when it comes to the third game. That's just my prediction.
I hope so.
Because it feels like they're moving that way. And by the way, I also want to say, this game, you can just like relax and go and talk to people. And like I said, I think last time, every little NPC has like a little story, and some you come back to later and they have new stories. So there's still a world to kind of just like fuck around in. You're not just wall running everywhere.
Right.
But when it comes to the main missions, they set you up in these huge like obstacle courses. That's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, if they're listening, dude, like think Mass Effect, think Witcher, but just stick Cal in that, and I would totally play that for 100 hours.
I think that's what their game should be, if not, and it already is. And I also say this is kind of a tangent. At work, which I work at Twitch, I've been doing a lot of making a lot of video clips of people playing different games, and I'm watching a lot of Apex. which I've never even jumped into. I knew of its obviously instant rise to fame, and that it's Respawn, right? So
it is,
they fucking know their action games. So watching enough people play it on streams at work, I just re-downloaded it this weekend. So I'm going to jump back in. I know it's kind of a scary thing because when you jump into those kind of games, they can suck you in. But I really do. I don't talk about it enough, but I really do enjoy being good at first-person shooters. Like, there's a couple that I'm like, I think fucking great at, you know? And when you have one that clicks with you, I think that's when you can be great at a game, right? It makes sense. Like, the combat makes sense.
Sure.
And just playing through, Fallen Order and Survivor, I'm like, at times they do some really good shit with combat. So I know it's a weird tangent, but I'm going to go back to Apex.
I'm very much looking forward to that because my son plays Apex once in a while. I played it for like a day and I'm like, okay, this is not my jam, but like the skill ceiling in Apex is like really high, and I'm curious to see what it's going to be like when you jump back in.
Okay, let me finish this tangent and say, one, there's so much new stuff that's been added since we played it, right?
Dude, tons, yeah.
So many new characters. I just watched the new character they were talking about, and so there's all that, but also watching people play on this competition show we have. It's called Kitchen League, and I was like, I can do that. I was seeing people eat shit, and I was like, oh, I bet you I wouldn't eat shit in that situation. Maybe I should play Apex Legends. I'm going to put it down on the agenda. I'm going to put it down. Ask Carlos about Apex. Where's my thing? Next week, it's either like, oh my goodness, I'm really am good at this, or I'm like, I deleted the game.
My money is on you deleted the game.
Oh wait, let's make a bet. You don't do betting, do you?
I didn't do bet. We'll just do a gentleman's bet.
Gentleman's
bet anything. I bet that if you go back into Apex right now, I bet people have been playing it. The people who are, it's like jumping into Fortnite. If you've never played Fortnite, you get headshotted every 5 seconds because you know what you're doing, and everybody is so used to it. I bet the learning curve on Apex right now is real fucking hard.
To finish a gentleman's bet, I bet that I'm going to be okay and like it, right? And buy the battle pass. Here's the asterisk for you is because I've been watching it at work. They added this whole practice section that wasn't there before.
Okay.
And by the way, this is a shout out to Apex. I'm not getting paid for this, but the practice section is not only just like a cool arena you can go in with your friends or whatever, but there's actually buildings now. So you can like fuck around with like going inside a door and going outside a door. I know that sounds like simple, but they haven't had that before. And so the arena isn't just like a big ass arena where you just, running and headshotting. It's like you can practice being in buildings.
Right.
And like fuck around. So I feel like because that's in the game, I'm just going to go fuck around there for a while. You know what I mean? Just get good by myself.
We will find out. We'll circle back.
Let's.
I feel like it's a big ask. I feel like you got to be pretty dedicated to get into Apex at this point.
Dude, now I'm mad. I'm going to fucking be.
I mean, you're going to do it just to spite me now. You're going to be like, I got to the top of the league. I won it 4 times in a row. I'm sure you're going to say that.
Hey, remember I went to Fortnite, which I put off for so long.
You did, and you won. You did.
Second or third game, I won as single player.
Which is quite an achievement. Absolutely.
Come on.
We'll see what happens. We'll come back to it. All right, we've got 19 minutes left. That's it for the show. We do have a couple of things to mention here on the last one last thing before we go section. Anything you got, Carlos, before we go?
2 things real quick. One, Black Knight. It's on Netflix now.
Oh, dude, I was just looking at that. Is it good?
It seems pretty good. I don't know if it's like great, but I've just only watched half of the pilot.
Okay.
Black and the Knight with Knight. You play as a delivery man.
No, it's not a game. It's a TV show.
Did I say game?
You said you play as a man, but you don't play as anybody. You just watch it, right?
Oh, I did. That's interesting. That is interesting.
You don't play as anybody, folks. You just watch this. It's a TV show.
It's not interactive. No, you're watching a show. The guy, the main character, is a delivery man, which reminds me of Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
So there's that element to it, and there's post-apocalyptic dystopia. It seems well, acted and action. So
is it from Japan? Where's it from?
Oh, I forgot. I want to say Korea.
Maybe Korea. Yeah, there's a lot of Korean stuff on Netflix right now, and a lot of it's really good. I dig a lot of that stuff.
Anyways, I think it's very good. I mean, at least from
I'm going to watch it today.
Okay, and then also, I just wrote down, remember to tell people about the A Lot of Things podcast. I have that back. Go check it out.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right. What am I doing right now? I started watching Silverhawks with my kid. Have you ever seen Silverhawks,
Nope.
Carlos? Never. Oh, never?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. So this is from the 80s. It is same time period as like Thundercats and Transformers and G.I. Joe. Same neighborhood. For some reason, it wasn't in certain markets. I have talked to many people who like it just was never around when they were a kid, and so they never saw it or never heard of it. But there was a toy line. It wasn't a very successful toy line, but it was from Rankin Bass Productions. They are animators in America. Are you familiar with Rankin Bass at all?
Mm-mm.
Oh man. They gave me nightmares, honestly, because something about their art style is extremely distinctive, and something about the way that they draw their bad guys just creeped me the fuck out when I was a kid. Like literal nightmares, dude. Like they did a production of The Hobbit that was animated, and it was so creepy and gross and scary. Like it hurt my stomach to watch it, and I still cringe when I think about the way that they drew those characters. Something about it was just really unsettling to me, and I just is scary as fuck. But they also did Silverhawks, which I actually do like. It's about a group of cyborgs who get sent out into space to fight bad guys in space. I mean, it's all very light, very Thundercat-y, very kind of, they're not doing any physics or anything. They don't care about breathing in space or anything like that. But it's just a good time. It's got a pretty fucking killer intro. It's one of the best intros of the 80s, I believe. It's just really, really well done. Gets you hyped up to watch the cartoon and stuff. So I'm liking revisiting Silverhawks, and they did actually just put out a brand new Ultimates toy line. We haven't had toy line of Silverhawks for quite a while, so it's nice to see some high quality figures coming out. So just heads up on that.
I think I had a toy, by the way, of it.
You might have. You might have. They were,
yeah.
they're real shiny. They were like metallicized. You could push their legs and their wings popped out, I think. Something like that.
I definitely remember those toys now.
Yeah. Okay, so Silverhawks is cool. I finished Reginald the Vampire, which I talked about last week with Jacob Batalon, I think his name is. I'm pretty sure. He's the guy who was the second fiddle to Spider-Man in the Marvel Spider-Man movies, the recent ones. What's the name of that guy? Who plays Spider-Man?
What?
The actor, the British actor, plays Spider-Man. He did the
Tom Holland?
Tom Holland, yes.
Yeah, that's
yes,
right,
yes. I always think of Tom Holland as being Spider-Man, or the guy who did the lip syncing to Umbrella when he was wearing like the thigh highs and the high heels and stuff. That's what I think of when I think of Tom Holland. But Jacob was the best friend in Spider-Man with Tom Holland, and he is a vampire in this. He is an overweight fat vampire that is based on a book called Fat Vampire.
Oh, you talked about this last episode.
Yeah, and I finished it. I finished the whole series. So wrapped it up. I think it ended in a good place. I think it didn't quite redeem itself because I think he does some stupid stuff that I wasn't really a big fan of, like cheats on his girlfriend and becomes like an asshole for one episode, which is kind of weird. But I think it came back around, and I'm looking forward to the next season. I think it's in production right now, so I will definitely watch the next season for more of that Canadian sci-fi goodness. And then the last thing I want to say is I just watched a movie yesterday, 3,000 Years of Longing from George Miller. Have you seen this?
Yes, wait, I think I have. Is this the one with what's her butt? Yes, it's
Tilda Swinton.
Yes, it's Tilda is what I meant.
Tilda Swinton, and the guy's name is, I'm blanking. He was in
it's
Pacific Rim.
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba, yes, that's
and
right.
This is, it reminds me of, I don't know if it's the same director, that one series. Oh my goodness, about the gods. Is it called Gods?
No, I think it's a different director. This is the director of Mad Max, George Miller.
Oh, okay. I mean, I've been wanting to see it. Do you like it? Was it good?
It was really good. It was really good. It was not, I don't know what I was expecting. I think both my wife and I were kind of a little bit surprised by what it was, but I think we both really liked it. The premise of this is, again, the director of Mad Max, George Miller, so keep that in mind. It's a woman who is an intellectual. She's kind of like a bookie reader, lonely woman type person. She finds a bottle and it has a genie inside the bottle, and so she unleashes the genie, and because she is so well read, she knows about like how easily wishes can go wrong, right? The monkey's paw aspect of a wish. And so she's very hesitant to make any wishes because she doesn't want to get like the whole, oh, I wished for, money, but it was stolen money and I went to prison, or I wish to live forever, but then I was really sick and I was sick in bed for 100 years, or, like she doesn't want any of those negative consequences. So she doesn't wish for anything. And what ends up happening is like 90% of the movie is her and the genie, played by Idris Elba. And he does a great job with his accent, by the way. Special shout out to his accent. Good job, man. He killed it on that accent. I was so impressed. Anyway, they're in a hotel room and they're just talking. He's talking about his 3,000 years of life and what it was like to be in the bottle and like the stuff that he's seen. And she's like listening to the story and kind of like questioning him on the story. And they do these little like interludes where he'll like reenact the scene of like being back in, Turkey 1,000 years ago and talking with the king of the Ottoman Empire, and the dealings that he had back then in these medieval times and stuff. But mostly it's just about them just talking. They're sitting in bathrobes and kind of just chatting about things, and it's really cool, and it's really sad, and it's really romantic, and it's really it's not like a genie story about wishes. It's about just kind of like life a little bit.
Yeah, like
but
the talking story or something.
Yeah. And the visuals are like really lush. Like it's like the colors are so rich. It totally looks like a George Miller film, where if you've seen Mad Max and you're like, well, what's a genie got to do with Mad Max? Well, when you see the directorial style, you're like, oh yeah, okay. I totally see the choices he makes, the camera shots, the colors he chooses, the way he frames things. You're like, okay, I totally see connection between this and Mad Max. Not like it's a sequel, has nothing to do with that, but just the authorial style is still in there. You can kind of tell. But it was really good. It reminded me a lot of something like a Big Fish, or like The Adventures of Baron Munchausen a little bit, where you're hearing a story told to you by somebody, and then you see the stories on screen.
Yeah.
Pretty cool premise. I thought it was very good. It's definitely slower and kind of romantic. So if you're in the mood for something like that, maybe give that a shot.
Okay, real quick. I know we're running out of time, but because you mentioned that that Black Knight is Korean, and it's
okay.
And someone gave a shout out to Mad Max. Vibes.
Oh, okay, cool. All right,
interesting. There's
excellent.
There. Also, Tilda Swinton connection. It reminded me. The idea of this movie reminded me of Only Lovers Left Alive.
I've heard of that. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard about it.
Brilliant film, and one of my favorite soundtracks of all time.
All right.
Because it's like fucked up, and it feels like you're on drugs watching the movie. You don't have to or drinking wine a lot. It's about vampires, like a few vampires that are left, and it's a conversational movie. Like there's some, vampire stuff, but it really is this kind of deep movie. So it makes sense that Tilda was in it because she's in this movie. I like her a lot. So anyways, Last Lovers Left Alive, I wholly recommend that. And then I forgot that I ordered, it arrives in 2 days, The World of Tomorrow, which is Don Hertzfeldt, who wrote a bunch of like weird little cartoons. You might remember one where it's a banana holding a spoon, and he goes, "My spoon's too big." Or the banana's a different one, and there's the little guy's like, "My spoon's too big." You don't know that?
I'm gonna look. I feel like I've seen this, but I have to look it up. I'm a little bit hazy.
He's got this like weird scribbly kind of art style. But anyways, The World of Tomorrow is supposed to be amazing and like about reality and the fabric of reality.
Is it a movie?
Yeah, it's a movie. It's 3 little movies, short films.
Okay.
And I found the Blu-ray because it's not available anywhere, and so
really?
I just straight up ordered the Blu-ray to also give Don, some money. So I'm excited for that.
All right. I don't think I've seen this, but I do know of it, but I haven't seen it, so I'll have to check this out. All right.
Okay, we're done.
Excellent.
We're done.
We are done. Let me go back to the thing here. Okay, great. I think that's it for a show. So I feel like this was kind of ramshackle and not up to our usual tight standards. So I definitely want to apologize.
I'm not apologizing at all. Fuck
I will.
That.
I will. You don't have.
I'm going to not
for
apologize for you.
For me, I feel like I was kind of scattered, and I feel like my head wasn't where it should have been. So I apologize if I was not on my A game today. But we do the best we can. And we always want to deliver a show. Show must go on.
Show must go.
Et cetera, et cetera. So, all right, folks. We'll be back stronger next week. Stronger, bigger, larger. But for now,
it was fine.
Send us your questions and comments. Hit us up, SoVideoGamesPodcast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter @SoVideoGames, on Instagram @SoVideoGamesPodcast. Hit us up individually. Carlos, where are we sending your traffic this week?
A Lot of Things Podcast.
All right. As for me, I'm on everything right now. Same handle over all the different social media channels. It's my name, BradGallaway, all A's, no O's. And that is going to do it for episode 336. Thank you once again for joining us here on the So Video Games Podcast, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Watch, here's my portable AC turning on.